Yemen, a land of stunning landscapes and rich cultural heritage, tells a story unlike many other Arab countries. While the region is often associated with wealth and luxury, Yemen presents a powerful contrast, rich in natural resources but struggling under decades of conflict and hardship. This travel documentary takes you on an immersive journey into Yemen's complex reality, revealing not only its breathtaking deserts, ancient cities, and rugged coastlines, but also the daily lives of its resilient people. A significant focus of this travel documentary is the lives of Yemeni women who face some of the world's most restrictive social and legal conditions. Often hidden behind veils and confined to traditional roles, these women quietly sustain families and communities despite limited access to education and employment. Their stories of strength, struggle, and hope are essential to understanding Yemen's future. Through intimate footage and heartfelt interviews, this travel documentary sheds light on the challenges Yemeni women face and their critical role in shaping their society. Join us as we explore Yemen's contradictions, its wealth and poverty, its lost tourism, its fractured politics, and the unwavering spirit of its people, especially its women. Ready to discover the untold stories of Yemen through a travel documentary that goes beyond the surface? Let's begin this eye-opening journey together. Number 1, Yemen, the contradiction of wealth and poverty. When people generally think of Arab countries, images of vast oil wealth, towering skyscrapers, luxury vehicles, and booming cities come to mind. Countries like the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar often dominate these mental pictures with their flashy wealth and rapid development. Yemen, however, presents a strikingly different reality. Despite sitting on some of the Arabian Peninsula's largest oil reserves, Yemen remains one of the poorest and most fragile nations in Asia and across the globe. This travel documentary explores the deep contradiction between Yemen's natural wealth and its persistent poverty, peeling back layers of political instability, war, and corruption that have kept the country in a near-constant state of crisis. Through intimate and on-the-ground footage, this travel documentary reveals how the riches under Yemen's soil rarely benefit the population. Instead, these resources have too often fueled conflict, power struggles, and economic paralysis. Families face shortages of food, clean water, and basic services, living day-to-day under harsh conditions. The film highlights stories of resilience and hope, showing how Yemenis, despite adversity, continue to dream of peace and prosperity. This travel documentary challenges viewers to think critically about the relationship between natural resources and real wealth. Is it just possession of oil that creates prosperity, or does peace, good governance, and investment play an even bigger role? Yemen's case is a powerful lesson in how resource wealth alone cannot guarantee a better future. How do you think Yemen can overcome these challenges to transform its natural wealth into opportunities that benefit all its people? What role should the international community play in supporting this change? Number 2, the impact of oil wealth and political instability. Yemen sits atop some of the Arabian Peninsula's richest underground oil reserves, a resource that, on paper, promises vast wealth and economic transformation, yet the reality on the ground tells a very different story. Political instability, ongoing armed conflict, and deeply rooted corruption have prevented Yemen from harnessing its natural wealth for the good of its people. This travel documentary delves deeply into these economic and political challenges, revealing how fractured governance and relentless power struggles have crippled Yemen's ability to manage its oil resources effectively and fairly. The film takes viewers inside Yemen's complex political landscape, where tribal rivalries and foreign interference continually disrupt efforts toward unified governance. These dynamics create a tangled web of competing interests that divert revenues away from essential public investments, instead fueling conflict and enriching a small elite. Through candid interviews with local experts, activists, and everyday citizens, this travel documentary paints a vivid picture of the challenges Yemen faces in transforming natural resources into meaningful social and economic progress. It exposes the painful reality of how, despite Yemen's oil wealth, the majority of its population struggles with poverty and deprivation. One of the stark contrasts highlighted in the film is the disconnect between oil revenue and public worthwhile. While oil exports bring in significant income, much of it disappears into corruption or is siphoned off by various factions, leaving public services chronically underfunded. Infrastructure is crumbling, roads and hospitals fall into disrepair, and access to clean water, education, and healthcare remains limited. High unemployment rates plague Yemen, pushing many into poverty and food insecurity. The travel documentary illustrates how this economic paralysis deepens the suffering of ordinary Yemenis, underscoring that resource wealth alone cannot compensate for political dysfunction. The film urges viewers to reconsider common assumptions about natural resource wealth. Yemen's experience shows that without political stability, transparent governance, and accountable institutions, even the richest reserves can become a curse instead of a blessing. It draws parallels with other resource-rich countries that have faced similar challenges, offering a cautionary tale about the dangers of mismanagement and division. What lessons do you think other resource-rich nations could learn from Yemen's story? How vital is political will and good governance in turning natural resources into genuine opportunities for development? Could sustained international support and fair policies help Yemen break this cycle and build a stable, prosperous future for all its citizens? This travel documentary invites you to reflect on these pressing questions and the real-world complexities behind resource wealth. Number 3, Yemen's lost tourism industry and the human cost. Yemen, a country blessed with some of the most breathtaking coastlines along the Arabian and Red Seas, boasts a treasure trove of ancient historical sites and dramatic desert landscapes. From the UNESCO World Heritage listed Old City of Sana'a, with its unique mud brick skyscrapers, to the picturesque islands scattered off its shores, Yemen holds immense potential as a travel destination. For decades, it was celebrated for its rich cultural heritage, traditional architecture, and warm hospitality, making it a hidden gem for travelers seeking authentic experiences far from the crowded mainstream routes. However, this potential has been tragically overshadowed by decades of relentless conflict and political instability. What once could have been a flourishing tourism sector now lies dormant, crippled by ongoing violence, security concerns, and deteriorating infrastructure. International flights have been severely limited, travel advisories warning against travel remain in place, and foreign investment has all but dried up. These factors have combined to discourage tourists, tour operators, and entrepreneurs alike from engaging with Yemen's tourism industry. This travel documentary captures this heartbreaking story of a country whose natural beauty and cultural richness remain largely unseen by the world due to circumstances beyond its control. The film poignantly contrasts Yemen's stunning landscapes and historical grandeur with the stark realities faced by its people: widespread displacement, crushing poverty, and the devastating human toll of war. Through intimate interviews with local business owners, guides, artisans, and displaced families, the travel documentary shines a light on the deep yearning within communities for peace, normalcy, and the chance to welcome visitors once again. The collapse of tourism has cut off a vital source of income for countless families, exacerbating economic hardships and fueling cycles of poverty. The loss of this sector is more than an economic setback. It is a blow to the cultural exchange and mutual understanding that tourism can foster. Yet amid the challenges, there is hope. The travel documentary not only explores the current struggles, but also paints a vision of a future where stability is restored and Yemen's tourism industry can serve as a cornerstone of economic recovery. Revitalizing this sector could create thousands of jobs, empower local entrepreneurs, and open Yemen's doors to the world once more. Tourism has the power to bring people together, foster peace building, and celebrate the rich heritage and resilience of the Yemeni people. How vital do you think tourism is in helping a country recover after prolonged conflict? What practical steps, both from within Yemen and the international community, could help revive this crucial industry? Could partnerships, investment in infrastructure, or heritage preservation efforts play a role in reconnecting Yemen with global travelers? This travel documentary invites viewers to not only witness Yemen's lost tourism industry, but also to imagine and support the rebuilding of a nation where culture, beauty, and human spirit can shine again. Number 4, the lives and challenges of Yemeni women. Women in Yemen live under some of the world's most restrictive social and legal environments, often fully veiled in black abayas and confined to traditional domestic roles. Many Yemeni women face significant barriers to education, employment, and public participation. Despite these restrictions, this travel documentary uncovers the powerful, yet often invisible strength and resilience of Yemeni women. They are the backbone of their households, managing family needs, caring for children, and supporting their communities in countless vital but unrecognized ways. This travel documentary dives deep into the gender dynamics that have long shaped Yemen's social and economic landscape. The exclusion of women from formal employment has serious consequences, leaving many families financially vulnerable and perpetuating cycles of poverty. Cultural norms and legal frameworks often limit women's rights, restricting their mobility and access to resources. Yet, the film also highlights inspiring stories of women quietly challenging these boundaries, pursuing education in secret, engaging in small-scale entrepreneurship, and advocating for change despite risks. Education, healthcare, and economic empowerment for women are not simply matters of fairness. They are essential to Yemen's broader recovery and development. This travel documentary emphasizes how empowering women can unlock untapped potential, driving social progress and economic growth for the entire nation. Women's inclusion is a key indicator of sustainable development and peace building. How might increasing educational and professional opportunities for women reshape Yemen's future? What ripple effects could arise from greater gender equality, not only for families, but for society at large? This travel documentary invites viewers to ponder these questions and reflect on the critical role women play in rebuilding their country. Number 5, Yemen's history and political fragmentation. Yemen's history is a rich yet turbulent tapestry woven from centuries of empire, tribal allegiances, and foreign influence. Once part of the sprawling Ottoman Empire and later influenced by British colonial ambitions, Yemen's path toward forging a unified national identity has been fraught with challenges. Deeply entrenched tribal loyalties and regional divisions have historically hindered efforts to create cohesive governance. And this travel documentary offers a comprehensive look at how these historical layers continue to shape Yemen's present-day political fragmentation and instability. Through compelling expert interviews, rare archival footage, and immersive storytelling, this travel documentary traces Yemen's complex journey from imperial subjugation to fleeting independence and prolonged division. The film delves into how tribal, regional, and ideological differences repeatedly undercut attempts at nation building, often fostering localized power struggles instead of national unity. It also examines the role of external powers, regional neighbors, and global players alike who have historically inserted themselves into Yemen's affairs, sometimes escalating conflicts to advance their own geopolitical interests. Beyond political elites and power plays, this travel documentary brings attention to the profound impact these divisions have on everyday Yemenis. Ordinary citizens endure the consequences of fractured politics, which disrupts basic services, economic development, and social cohesion. The film poignantly highlights how disunity translates into hardship, yet also reveals pockets of hope where communities seek reconciliation through dialogue, shared traditions, and grassroots peacebuilding efforts. It challenges viewers to ponder how centuries of historical grievances and cultural fragmentation might be overcome in pursuit of a stable, inclusive future. How much influence does a nation's layered history truly hold over its ability to heal, unite, and progress? Can shared visions and common goals triumph over entrenched tribal rivalries and external manipulation? These thought-provoking questions underscore the depth and importance of this insightful travel documentary, inviting viewers to reflect on the complexity behind Yemen's ongoing struggle for peace. Number 6, hope, recovery, and a call to action. Despite the overwhelming challenges facing Yemen today, the spirit of its people remains resilient and hopeful. Yemen's rich cultural heritage, vibrant traditions, and breathtaking landscapes stand as testaments to the country's enduring identity. This travel documentary concludes on a hopeful and inspiring note, emphasizing the vital role of international support, humanitarian aid, and sustained political engagement in Yemen's journey toward recovery and reconstruction. The film encourages viewers to engage deeply with Yemen's story, to listen attentively, learn earnestly, and advocate passionately for the nation's future. It demonstrates how powerful storytelling, especially through travel documentaries, can break down stereotypes, foster empathy, and build bridges between cultures. Through real-life accounts, evocative imagery, and heartfelt narratives, the documentary brings Yemen's humanity to the forefront, reminding global audiences that behind headlines are individuals yearning for peace, dignity, and opportunity. Moreover, this travel documentary highlights tangible ways individuals and communities around the world can contribute meaningfully to Yemen's recovery. Whether it's raising awareness, supporting humanitarian organizations, or promoting initiatives aimed at peace and development, every action counts. The film stresses that rebuilding Yemen is a shared global responsibility, requiring coordinated efforts across governments, NGOs, and everyday citizens who care about justice and stability. As viewers reflect on Yemen's story, they are invited to consider their own roles in fostering global solidarity and compassion. How can we leverage travel documentaries to illuminate forgotten struggles and inspire meaningful change? What practical steps can you take to support countries enduring conflict and hardship? This travel documentary closes with a compelling call to action, urging audiences to become active participants in Yemen's hopeful journey toward a brighter, more peaceful future.